On today's storytelling episode is a jackpot story titled A Tale of Wealth and Waste. Victor and Sam had always shared the same vision: to leave Nigeria, build a career abroad, and secure a better future. From their teenage years, they had spoken of studying in Europe, dreaming of financial independence and a life of comfort. Their dreams became a reality when the both received scholarships to study in the UK. It was a moment of triumph, a sign that they were on the right path. As they boarded the plane, they were filled with excitement and determination, ready to take on the world. Arriving in London was thrilling, but they quickly realized that life as an international student was not easy. Rent, tuition, and living expenses added up quickly, and they had to take on part-time jobs to stay afloat. Sam and Victor worked in restaurants, retail stores, and as delivery drivers, balancing long hours with demanding coursework. Despite the hardships, they remained focused, knowing that their hard work would eventually pay off. However, it wasn't long before their financial habits began to diverge. Sam was disciplined, keeping track of his expenses and ensuring that he saved a portion of everyday paycheck. He researched investment opportunities, read books on financial management, and planned for the long term. He believed that money was a tool that, if managed wisely, could provide security and freedom. Victor, on the other hand, had a different philosophy. To him, life was meant to be enjoyed, and money was there to facilitate this enjoyment. You live only once, he would say, brushing off Sam's warnings about saving and investing. He spent his earnings on the latest fashion, nights out with friends, and spontaneous trips across Europe. He believed there would always be more money to make, so why worry? After graduation, both friends secured well-paying jobs, marking the beginning of their professional careers. With their increased incomes, they now had the ability to build wealth and secure their futures. Sam continued with his disciplined financial approach. He maintained a modest lifestyle, ensuring that he saved and invested a portion of his earnings. He purchased a plot of land in Nigeria, seeing it as an asset that would appreciate over time. He also started investing in stocks, making small but consistent contributions. Victor, on the other hand, saw his first big paycheck as a license to upgrade his life. He moved into a high-end apartment in central London, bought a new car, and started shopping for designer brands. He enjoyed fine dining, lavish vacations, and socializing with people who shared his taste for luxury. He convinced himself that saving could wait. There was plenty of time for that in the future. As the years went by, Sam's financial stability grew. His investments began to compound, and he started exploring business opportunities. He had built a strong financial foundation, allowing him to take calculated risks. He diversified his investments, acquiring more real estate and expanding his portfolio. Victor, however, remained trapped in a cycle of spending. He received salary increases over the years, but his expenses always rose to match his income. He upgraded his apartment, bought more expensive cars, and continued to indulge in an extravagant lifestyle. Despite earning a six-figure salary, he had little to no savings. He believed that as long as he was making money, he would always be fine. Then came the first financial wake-up call. A recession hit, and many companies began downsizing. Sam had anticipated economic downturns and had a financial safety net in place. Even if he lost his job, his investments and passive income streams would sustain him. Victor, however, was unprepared. His company announced layoffs, and he was one of the first employers to let go. Suddenly, his steady income was gone, and with it, his entire lifestyle. Without savings to fall back on, he struggled to keep up with his high rent and luxury expenses. The reality of his financial decisions hit him hard. He had earned so much over the years, but had nothing to show for it. Desperate, Victor tried to borrow money from friends, but they were hesitant. He had always been generous in the past, but now they questioned whether he could pay them back. The friends he used to party with slowly distanced themselves, and for the first time, he truly felt alone. Meanwhile, Sam's financial discipline had allowed him to thrive even in uncertain times. His business ventures were growing, and his investments continued to appreciate. He had achieved financial independence, meaning he could live comfortably without relying on a paycheck. When Victor reached out to Sam, ashamed and desperate, Sam listened, but was not surprised. "I warned you," he said. "Wealth is not about how much you earn, but how much you keep and grow." He offered advice and guidance, but was cautious about lending money. He knew that financial discipline could not be forced. It had to be learned. Victor tried to recover, taking lower paying jobs and cutting back on his expenses. But rebuilding from financial ruin in his 40s was not easy. He regretted his choices, but knew that regret alone would not change his situation. He had to start over from the bottom. As they approached retirement age, the contrast between their lives became even more stark. Sam had built multiple streams of income, owned several properties, and had a thriving business. He had reached the point where he could retire comfortably, travel when he pleased, and enjoy his later years without financial stress. Victor, however, had no choice but to leave the UK. With no savings and no pension plan, he could no longer afford to live in a high-cost country. His only option was to return to Nigeria, the very first place he had left in search of a better future. The irony was painful. He had spent his life chasing a dream, only to end up back where he started, with nothing to show for it. As he boarded the one-way flight home, regret weighed heavily on him. He had earned as much as Sam over the years, yet he had squandered every opportunity. He had believed that money would always come, but he had ignored the reality that financial security requires planning, discipline, and sacrifice. Victor's story became a cautionary tale, a painful lesson about the consequences of financial irresponsibility and recklessness. Meanwhile, Sam's journey inspired many. He had proven that financial freedom was not about luck or high salaries, but about making smart choices consistently over time. What have you learned from this story? It is important to save early. Time is your greatest asset. The earlier you start, the better. Live below your means. Don't let lifestyle inflation drain your future. Invest wisely. Money should grow, not just be spent. Enjoy life, but plan first. Fun is important, but security matters more. Retirement comes faster than you think. Always be ready. Victor's mistake was assuming that financial stability would always come later. Sam understood that the future is built in the present. The question remains, would you rather be a Sam or a Victor? Thank you for listening. Feel free to share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Pop into the comment section any other comments you have about this wonderful story. Thank you.